I'm at 3542 9 Mile Road doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Our access, there's actually two different access points. One is a rear stack in the center of the basement. And then there's also another hanging sewer, or goes out the wall high in the front in the garage. So the front right of the house, or if you're walking into the garage, it's actually to the left, like right as you're walking in through the man door. But first, we're going to go through, you can see here's the stack. Here's the rest of the basement here. And so we go in through here first and take a look. And then hopefully we can see where that other line ties in, so we know, approximately how much we need to do from the other spot. This is cast iron, which is normal for the age of home. And cast iron isn't a bad material, but it does rust. And so what we're looking for is just any obvious breaks or holes in the line. This looks really good so far as far as what the like the shape of the line, because you see a lot of this where you can see like the mineral buildup and stuff on the bottom of the pipe where it almost looks flat. It's pretty normal. It's kind of what you find on most cast iron lines. I expect this to switch to clay once it exits the house. I'd like to try to turn something on. I can probably turn on one of the bathrooms or maybe the kitchen, so that we can get it running through here. We'll be able to see, just kind of watch it function on the way. One thing I'm going to note about cast iron lines is I like to let people know, because of obviously how rough the interior of these pipes are. It's a lot more common to have soft clogs, or clogs caused by excessive toilet paper. Wet wipes are an obvious problem because they don't break down, so even if they say flushable, they shouldn't be, just because toilet paper is designed to disintegrate when it gets wet, and that's what it does. So if it gets caught, it'll disintegrate. The wet wipes will not do that, so it makes it more likely that if it does get caught, just in these cast iron lines, that it'll cause other things to build up behind it, and that's where you get those clogs. So if you're going to use them, just throw them in the trash. We got some debris in here. That's another thing. You can see my camera's making a run through it, but that's a pretty big chunk of stuff there. Might be. I'll have to, again, we'll run some water, because I think the line is also dropping here, so it's giving it a look as if the whole thing, is more blocked. Then we have a line coming in here from the left. Now I believe this could be, because it is coming to the left, it may be outside. And this may be where that, excuse me, where the that front line coming out of the garage comes in, because we are 40 feet out, so we are up towards the front, I believe. We're up towards the front of the building, and we have some build up there. So I'm not sure what all this is, but again, we'll run some water when we get out. But this is Probably going to be a good idea to have the line cleaned, at least jetted, due to all this debris. Hopefully we get out and we're able to see, because it looks like I've switched over to clay. No, maybe not. It's still cast iron, I think. But it looked like we may have had a little bit of root intrusion there, right in through here. But again, it's very hard to see now that we have since the camera is not clear. So it looks like we're dropping. We may have gone into PVC. Is what it looks like. I'm going to go up and I'm going to try to run some water in the kitchen sink. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, trying to run some water. So you can hear the pump from the cistern. So it does look like we are in PVC. I'm going to pull back and kind of try to look at some of this stuff on the inside a little bit better. The water is probably going to take a while to get to us because of all the debris in the line. So here it is now. It's starting to come through. But we just want to try to make sure that there we go, so we can see in these areas. We've been through here. We know that there's a lot of debris. And so maybe we can get some of this flushed out, but I believe you're going to need a cleaning to get rid of this. So there's some tree roots getting in and narrowing the line big time in this area, about 45 feet or so. And so probably need a cleaning, like I mentioned, also for the roots. Then at roughly 50 feet here looks like it's switching over to PVC. But so it's good. I don't know how much the line has been replaced, but hopefully a good deal of it. I'm going to try to make sure we get that can rinsed. There goes that pump again. And then there isn't, looks like there's a drop in or an outside clean out here. I can take a look at that. It's about 50 feet. I can see if I can see that from outside. But continue to so the good news is that you do have PVC on the exterior. This all looks like Schedule 40 PVC. So we've switched over into SDR35. That's the green PVC. That's both PVC. They're both about the same pipe wall thickness and all that. It's just different braiding system basically. And it looks like there's another clean out here at about 100 feet. Usually when we switch to this, it means we're getting close to sewer main. So that may be an MSD clean out by the road. But it could also be where this is converted septic and this goes out and around the house, in which case we will have to make a move to inspect the rest of the line. But we'll see further out we get how much further we need to go. But it looks like there we are. So you can see we are in the larger pipe. We are in the main. You can see the line moving really fast. So we're going to pull back up. And the good news is that the line looked really, really good past about 50 feet. Past that 50 feet mark, there is, it's PVC all the way out and in great shape. So all the exterior piping looks great. It's been replaced. And that is obviously very good news. The only thing we had was really at about 45 feet. We had some, we did have some root intrusion, and before that, in the cast iron, it looked like there's some debris buildup. Could be just basically from the repairs done. It looked like a lot of kind of broken up cast iron or the rust that sheds, and that could be from replacing the stacks. Like construction debris essentially, but that should be flushed out, and you could probably do that with a little bit lighter grade jetter, but with the roots in there, you may want to, you're going to have to do something to get rid of those roots also. But as we mentioned, all this stuff here is wonderful. From 50 all the way out to that like 140 foot mark where it dropped in the main. This is all great. Right here, gotta pop in that little bit smaller pipe. There we go. It's 4-inch until it gets out to that green, and then it switches over to 6. This all looks very, very good. The exterior line looks great. You can see all these, look, all the connections have been nice and tight. There's no low spots in the exterior line of the PVC, no bellies. Yeah. Nothing of concern past about 50 feet. So we're coming up onto that spot now where we have a clean out or a drop in. It's hard to tell. I'm actually going to pause the video. I'm going to go up and run some water in the master bath, and then that'll tell us where that branch comes in. So I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so we have that water running so we can hopefully see where that drops in. So we know it doesn't come into that, so this would be an outside clean out. Just look at the top, you can kind of see where the opening is. I'm used to looking at this obviously, so it looks like, so there is an outside clean out. I could probably, it's probably visible, but we'll see. So here we are back into the cast iron, and for the most part the cast iron looks pretty good too. Looks like it's in pretty good shape, with the exception of this root intrusion here. And my concern here is that with cast iron you usually don't have much root intrusion because of the clay lines it's really common because of the connections, the type of connections they were made. A lot of times these are made well. So I'm going to recommend that you clean the roots here at 45 feet, and then maybe whoever cleans the roots will take another look at this spot and see how the roots are getting in. Like I said, with clay, they get in at the joints. With cast iron, it's usually a weak point in the line. And so, you don't want to take any chances of it. It looks like the line is dropping there, and it's a weird connection, so maybe that's why. But, obviously you want to make sure that you don't have any major issues in that area that are hidden by those roots. Really, the rest of this, it looks pretty good. I mean, obviously we have some debris built up. It looks like it's from, the construction, and that can be something that would, because of how heavy it is with a lot of the stuff coming down, like the cast iron and the rust. But I mean, for the most part, the line looks good structurally. Here's another spot with a lot of buildup. And I think right here, so right here on the left at 37 feet is where the bathroom, the master bath comes in. And so it can't be very far. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get a locate as to where that is so we know about how many feet we need to go from the other clean out. So again, I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so that spot's only about maybe 10 feet of pipe, I believe. So, not a huge amount of pipe there, but we'll take a look. You can see it's still coming in over there. But we'll we'll obviously access that line from over there, and then I think what I'll do is when I push out, I'll try to locate. I can find the clean out by the street, which is like an MSD clean out or a sewer district clean out. But the one up here by the house that I'd noticed where the PVC started at around 50 feet, there was a clean out right there where it made the transition from cast iron to PVC. And see if I can locate that also, because that would give really good access, as long as it's a two-way clean out, to anybody that was wanting to clean those roots. Or take a look, it's only a few feet upstream from that PVC clean out, roughly 5 to 6 feet. And so that would be really easy access. But I am vertical in the bottom left-hand corner. It shows the angle, but we're back out of the clean out, and the line looks really good structurally. The only real spot of concern is, between like 30 and 45 feet is there's some debris buildup. That looked like it could have come from, it's a lot of the rust and stuff like that. So I would recommend that be flushed out when cleaning it out anyway for the roots, because the roots are going to have to be taken care of, and you want to take another look at that with a follow-up inspection when they do the cleaning, just to make sure that there's nothing, any major damage to the cast iron. I hate to say this, but most of the time, like I mentioned earlier, when you have a cast iron line that has root intrusion, there's usually damage to the pipe in that area. And so the good news about that is that it is outside and maybe a little bit easier to access, but it depends on, actually this is probably about 6 to 7 feet deep, so be a little bit get to it. But at any rate, I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to get access to the other short branch coming off the main the master bath, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we are into the other stack. I'm going to have to try to do this from an odd angle because of the placement of the steps here, but we only got to look at a few feet, and then hopefully we'll be able to. So take a look at this. This should all be cast iron. It should go basically straight over and tie in. This line looks a lot better as far as the cast iron is concerned. Here it is going to Y in almost. We got about 20 feet. And here we are Ying into that spot. And you can see all that debris and stuff. So 23 feet of pipe just on here. You can see I'm pushing a bunch of stuff when I make that turn. And there's all that debris. And here is the root intrusion. So we're back at that point. I was going to go ahead while I'm here and go ahead and try to locate this clean out so somebody can get access. It's right about here. So I'm going to pause the video. Hopefully we have just enough battery power. Looks like the battery's getting low. I can go and get this locate, and then we'll be finishing up. Okay, so I'm going to mark it with a flag. It's not visible, obviously, but this branch looks really good. So really the only issue is some construction buildup in this line, and then the root intrusion here from the other location. It was obviously further out. It was at 45 feet is where it was from the stack access, but you can see all this debris coming through here. There's a big chunk, like 30 to 50 feet on the other video, on the other access. But this branch coming from the garage or from the master bath looks great. Well, looks like it's in great shape. So yeah, some minor stuff. You know, hopefully you get rid of that root intrusion, and it may be something that you have to either maintenance in the future or repair, because the roots will continue to get in as long as there's a tree within distance. But the overall line itself looked great. Obviously past 50 feet, which is again from that other access point, the line is PVC all the way out. So most of the exterior line has been replaced. And so that is really good news, and it's in great shape. Again, basically all you need to do is clean those roots out, flush some of that construction debris, because if you leave that in there, basically that just heightens the risk of those soft clogs where other stuff can get caught on that. And if you need to get in and get those roots out, I would go ahead and get rid of the, you know, obviously just flush the whole line out and get it taken care of. But yeah, line looks good. Just a spot at about 45 feet needs to be taken care of, and the debris flushed out, and should be good to go. So that'll end the inspection at 3542 9 Mile Road in Cincinnati, Ohio.